Over a month into the season, it's time to reveal our NBA observations thus far. I'm joined by Noah Green and Will Burns to discuss. So guys, first off is Sacramento. I'm going to throw it to Will. And do you think Sacramento's play right now is sustainable?
I really like Sacramento's young core right now with Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, Marvin Bagley, but I don't think they really stand a chance in the Western Conference this year. The Western Conference is loaded. The Clippers right now are the #1 seed, which is crazy. The Warriors aren't even #1. You got teams like the Spurs, Pelicans, Rockets, and Jazz, all right now not even in the playoff picture. So I expect those teams to catch up kind of how they were last year and the Kings to kind of go back down to earth.
I agree that they're not going to make the playoffs. They're, like you said, the young core is good. I think in the future, potentially, if they could get a good pick and develop the young core. However, the question was, can they maintain how they're playing? They're 500. I could see them continuing. It's not like they're playing spectacular. They're playing better than they have been in the past. I could see them finishing 500, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Maybe the 9 or 10 seed, but yeah. Like you said, the teams that aren't necessarily playing right now will end up in the playoffs, like the Jazz and Pelicans.
Exactly, and Buddy Hield's kind of looking like that guy we saw at Oklahoma finally, so It's good to see.
Well, West is incredibly competitive, but I want to jump off on that. So Noah, what player has been the most disappointing so far?
It's Andrew Wiggins. His entire career has been pretty disappointing. He had one of the biggest hype coming into the draft since LeBron James, and he's only averaging 14 points a game this year. And this is with Jimmy Butler gone. He hasn't been playing that great recently. His entire stat line was 1 assist and 1 rebound. He didn't score a single point recently. With Jimmy Butler gone, like I said, he should be playing even better. He's 9 points down from even 2 years ago. So I think it's definitely Wiggins.
He's been very disappointing this year, but I have to go with Gordon Hayward. After an injury, you don't expect a guy to recover that quickly, especially as gruesome as Hayward's injury was. But I didn't expect this far of a drop-off. He's going from 22 points a game 2 years ago with the Jazz to 10 points per game right now. The Celtics, I feel like they're slowly kind of lessening him from the lineup. He hasn't started these past few games. I think they should keep it that way because his plus-minus right now is just – it's really hurting the team. He's hurting defensively, and he can't really shoot right now either. It's been a weird phenomenon to see this year.
I think it's pretty difficult to say that considering what happened last year. If you just think about physically to recover from that injury, there's nothing like coming back in an NBA game, and even if he's doing pickup. But mentally, if you have that injury, from watching him, he looks. He doesn't look himself shooting-wise and everything else. But I think above everything, it's comfortability. He doesn't look natural out there. He looks kind of nervous. And I think that'll come over time. Paul George had a similar injury. It took him an entire year.
Yeah. And you think about Kyrie and Hayward both missing a lot of last year and kind of not gelling with the team right now. So jumping off on that for most disappointing, who do you think is the most valuable player this year so far?
I think it's got to be Kawhi Leonard. The Raptors right now are 17-4. They're by far the best team in the NBA right now with other powerhouses like the Warriors. The Lakers aren't doing that great. So I think you got to give it to the best player on the best team. I do figure that the Raptors will end up with the best record in the NBA this year, considering how far ahead they are of everyone else. Kawhi Leonard's putting up great stats, 25-8-3, 48% shooting. I think he's going to win MVP this year.
And Noah, what about you?
I think you're thinking of MVP from the perspective of the Raptors being the best team in the league, but the Bucks are right behind them. I think it's going to be Giannis. I think that he's averaging 27 and 13. Those are MVP numbers. That's a double-double. And I think maybe if the Bucks were in the 6 or 7 seed, it would be a different story because Kawhi is leading the best team in the East. Or in the league, but I think that the Bucks are going to stay. I think the Celtics will go better, but I think if they finish top 3, I think it's going to be Giannis.
Giannis is a great player, but I don't really like what I'm seeing out of his shooting. People keep saying if he figures out how to shoot, the NBA is going to be broken. It seems like he can't really figure that out.
So. We'll see if the Greek Freak can keep it up. That's all from the hardwood. Next, we'll take a look at college football playoff mayhem.